Have you ever wondered if someone secretly has a crush on you? An intriguing thought, isn't it? We're diving into this fascinating world of hidden emotions and subtle signals. Understanding these signs can be a game changer, helping you navigate the labyrinth of social situations with a new perspective. So, are you ready to unlock this secret code of human behavior? Stay tuned to discover the signs that someone might be secretly dreaming about you. Sign number 1, they remember small details about you. Now, it's not just about remembering your name or your birthday. We're talking about the tiny, seemingly insignificant details. The ones that you casually mentioned in passing, perhaps not even expecting them to remember. You see, when someone has a crush on you, their focus tends to sharpen, zoning in on you. Their brain becomes like a sponge, soaking up every bit of information you share. It's their way of feeling closer to you, of understanding you better. And that's why they remember the small things. Imagine this. You once mentioned your fondness for mint chocolate chip ice cream during a casual conversation. Weeks later, they surprise you with a scoop of that very flavor. Or you shared a funny childhood story with them, and months down the line, they bring it up, recollecting every vivid detail. These are not just acts of a good memory, but signs of affection. They've been paying attention to you, really listening, and storing away these details. Not because they have to, but because they want to. Remember this, in a world where we are often too busy to remember what we had for breakfast. If someone remembers the little things about you, it's because they've made you a priority in their mind. So, if they remember your favorite ice cream flavor or a story you told weeks ago, it might be a sign. Sign number 2, they act nervous or different around you. Now, this is a classic one. You see, when someone has a crush on you, they can't help but act a little bit differently when you're around. Their heart rate might increase, they might fumble their words, or they could even become suddenly very interested in their shoes. That's right, nervousness can make even the most confident person seem shy and unsure. They might also try to impress you. Suddenly they're talking about their achievements, their hobbies, or that time they rescued a kitten from a tree. Why, you ask? Well, they want you to see them in a positive light. They want to stand out in your eyes. But here's the thing. It's not always about grand gestures or significant changes. Sometimes it's the subtle shifts that give it away. Maybe they're more attentive when you're talking. Or perhaps they laugh a little too hard at your jokes. Or let's say, they seem to be more thoughtful, more considerate when you're around. So if you notice that someone's behavior changes when you enter the room, pay attention. It's not about overanalyzing every action, but rather being aware of these potential signs. Because if they're acting differently around you, if their behavior changes when you enter the room, it could be a sign. A sign that you're the person they're dreaming about, the person they've got a secret crush on. Sign number 3, they find reasons to spend time with you. Now let's imagine this. You're at a party or a gathering, and there's this one person who seems to always be around you. They show up at the same events, they join the same clubs, they even start to hang out at your favorite spots. It's almost like they're following a script, except this script is written by their heart, not by a screenwriter. They might not always be directly interacting with you. They could be sitting across the room, or they might be part of the group you're hanging out with. But somehow, they always seem to be in your vicinity, like they found a subtle way to orbit around your world. In fact, they might even go out of their way to spend time with you. Do they offer to help you with tasks they wouldn't normally be interested in? Do they suggest activities that they know you'll love, even if it's not their cup of tea? Do they seem to have an uncanny knack for showing up just when you need a hand or a friendly ear? This isn't about stalking or invading your personal space. It's about someone who's so interested in you that they subconsciously prioritize opportunities to be around you. This person might be trying to understand you better, to share in your interests, to become a part of your world. It's their way of saying, hey, I think you're interesting. I want to know more about you. But remember, it's crucial to understand the context. If they're a close friend or a colleague, they might just be friendly or supportive. But if this behavior is out of character, or if they're going the extra mile to spend time with you, it could be a sign that they're secretly crushing on you. So, the next time you notice someone always around you, lending a hand or suggesting activities you both can do together, don't dismiss it as mere coincidence or casual friendship. It might be their heart subtly hinting, I'm into you. If they're always finding reasons to be around you, they might be secretly crushing. Sign number 4, they're always looking at you. Now, this might seem like a no-brainer, but it's one of the most telling signs of someone's interest. When we're drawn to someone, we can't help but look their way. It's like a moth to a flame, an almost magnetic attraction that pulls our gaze in their direction. This isn't just about stolen glances across a crowded room. It's about those moments when you're in a group, and you catch them looking at you, even when you're not the one speaking, or when you're busy with something and you notice them simply observing you from afar. It's like they can't get enough of you. You might even notice that they make an effort to catch your eye, seeking out that brief but intimate connection that a shared look can provide. It's a silent conversation, a secret shared between just the two of you. They're trying to communicate their interest, even if they're not quite ready to put it into words. Remember, it's natural to look at people we find fascinating or attractive. But if you notice they're looking at you more often than others, there's a good chance they see something special in you, something that keeps drawing their attention back to you. It's like they're trying to memorize your face, to etch it into their memory for those moments when you're not around. If you often catch their gaze, it might not be a coincidence. And the final sign, they get jealous. Now, we all know that jealousy can be a tricky thing to navigate. It's a complex emotion that can be a bit hard to pinpoint, but it's also a pretty common reaction when someone has a crush. When someone is dreaming about you, they might find it difficult to hide their green-eyed monster. Imagine you're chatting about a great time you had with another friend. You notice their smile wavers, their laughter seems forced, or they rapidly change the subject. That's a sign of jealousy creeping in. These subtle changes in their behavior could be their attempts to mask their feelings of jealousy. They might not even realize they're doing it, but their subconscious feelings of wanting to be the one you're sharing those fun times with are seeping out. Or perhaps they show signs of jealousy when you're spending time with others. They might try to downplay your experiences or subtly criticize the people you're hanging out with. They might even go as far as to show up where you are, just to keep an eye on the situation. It's a classic sign of someone who wishes they were the one spending that quality time with you. However, it's important to remember that jealousy should not be confused with possessiveness or control. Healthy jealousy is a natural response to feeling threatened or fearing the loss of someone's attention. It's a sign that someone values you and fears the thought of losing you to someone else. So, if you notice that they seem to get a bit prickly or uncomfortable when you talk about other friends, or they get a little too interested in your plans with others, take note. These could be the signs you've been looking for. Remember though, everyone is different. These signs may not always mean someone has a crush on you, but they're good indications to keep in mind, especially if you're seeing other signs we've talked about. If they seem to get jealous, it could be more than just friendship. So, those were the 5 signs that someone might have a secret crush on you. Let's do a quick recap. Firstly, they remember small details about you, those tiny things that most people wouldn't notice. Secondly, they act differently around you, maybe a bit nervous or unusually enthusiastic. The third sign is them finding reasons to spend time with you, even if it's just a quick chat or a casual hangout. The fourth sign is that they're always looking at you, stealing glances when they think you're not noticing. Lastly, they get jealous when you're talking to others, showing that they desire your attention. These signs are subtle hints that someone might be dreaming about you in their quiet moments. But it's important to remember that these are just signs, not concrete evidence. So tread lightly. Remember, these signs are not definitive proof, but they can provide clues. Keep your eyes open. You might just discover a secret admirer.